my bitch.
Look who we got.
Oh shit.
Look who we got. Look who we motherfucking got. Emma Willmann,
Give it up for Emma
everybody.
Willmann. Thank you for being here, Emma.
Thanks for having me. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Him and I met like 2 years ago when I first started doing comedy, and I just was drunk at a comedy show, and she was on the lineup, and I just started talking to her, and we vibed and clicked ever since.
I remember it so well. It was that tiny cupboard.
Yep.
It was
Yep.
that tiny cupboard,
Yep.
which is like
I remember.
comedy club out in Brooklyn. I don't know where it was. Was it out? No, it wasn't outside. It was inside.
Yeah.
And I remember you came in and you were super friendly. You're like, "Hey, how you doing? I like that shirt or something."
I do that.
And I do that. I'm always like, I was like, I like those shoes. And you never know. Sometimes, like, if I don't know if you feel this way. Like sometimes, like with a queer masculine presenting person, they're not always friendly. So sometimes they'll try to. What's it called? My friend said it was tufting the feathers.
Yeah, they big up you.
Big up you.
Yeah, it'd be
exactly.
big up
Go
you. Yeah.
this, and then so you're almost on guard. Like, are they going to do that? So like
Yeah.
this, but then if the person's like, "Hey," then I'm like, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah. No, I'm
so
not
we
like
did that.
Yeah.
We had a cigarette. Yeah, and then we talked about dating and whatnot, and it was cold out, and I left my jacket, and I still haven't gone back to pick it up.
Oh no.
Oh shit. You
I
haven't
know.
been there in that long.
Probably a really cool jacket because you got pretty cool style.
It was a pretty cool jacket. I really
bomber
like that
probably.
jacket.
You like that bomber jacket.
It was this one I got. It was like a navy tough one. It wasn't like a warm one, but it was like
in between,
bomberish,
like
in
in between.
between.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find it. And then I found it there, and I still haven't gone back to get it.
Right.
It's a hike.
It is far. You got to get on the J train. You got to go down there. You got to like walk past a few homeless guys. You know, you got to do the whole thing. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you gotta do a little obstacle course to get past the, rats and homeless people. But it's fun. We love Bushwick.
Did you go up that night? Were you
I went
that
before.
Night? Okay,
I
nice.
went before you. Yeah, I went
Nice.
before, and then I just was hanging out
On that, not on that show.
I don't know if it was on that show.
No, because I would have remembered.
I don't think it was on that show. I think
Yeah.
it was before, and then I was gonna leave, and then I saw you and
I
started hanging
appreciate
out.
that.
Yeah.
And you were with a friend. I think you were drinking out of a maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Out of like a bag or something like that. She's drinking out of a Ziploc bag. Yeah.
Sir.
But I definitely
This is
remember
wine.
smoking a cigarette because I haven't been. I used to smoke like 10, 15 cigarettes a month, and then I stopped like 6 months ago.
Oh,
Good
congratulations.
for you. Yeah, you were on your health kick.
It was. I was wearing this watch that like tracks your heart rate variability. I don't know exactly what that is, but it is basically like if it starts tanking, it's bad. I was smoking a cigarette, and I was like, let me see if my watch clocks anything with my heart rate. It acted as though I had taken a poison. Like it tanked so much that I was like, and I put the cigarette out, and I was like, okay, apparently the rumors
Like your
are
heart
true.
rate was dropping or it was going up? It was dropping?
Tanked.
Oh, it sounds like you're so relaxed. That sounds nice.
And then, but this was like danger zone. So
Oh,
I Googled,
shit.
what does that mean? And it was like, it's like either you're having food poisoning, you're about to get super sick, or you like took some type of poison.
Damn.
Wow.
And it was a menthol cigarette. So I don't know.
That's
you
that
did,
Newport,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if that's worse than the other ones.
It is.
but-
They are worse. They are.
I know
worse.
the people that smoke them are worse, but
Yeah, I
more
love
annoying.
those cigarettes.
I'm so sorry. Just kidding.
I like those cigarettes, but yeah, when I saw that on my phone, it scared the shit out of me. So now I maybe had like 5 cigarettes since then, but for some reason, that got through to me.
That's good. I wish something like that would get through to me.
What was your brand?
You know?
I used to smoke Parliaments, and then sometimes I would smoke American Spirits.
Okay.
Yeah.
'Cause
They
it's like-
burn so long though.
They burn so long, and they're
Forever.
like natural.
They are. They don't have any like additives
Right.
and like the bullshit.
Right.
You know. So yeah.
What do you smoke?
Marlboro Ultra Light.
Oh yeah. Ooh, yeah.
Ultra.
Same
Yeah.
color as her hair.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
That's right.
Do you smoke cigarettes?
Hell no.
No.
he
I'm
doesn't
a
do
health
that.
freak. I only do cocaine. And,
Yeah.
no, I've actually never had a cigarette in my life. But
Really?
that's just the one thing that never really did it for me. I don't know.
You've never smoked a cigarette in your whole life?
In my entire life, I've had spliffs. I'm a big weed smoker.
Okay.
I drink recreational drugs, all that stuff, but never had a cigarette.
You're not curious. You just know not to do it.
I mean, at this point, like sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, a head buzz sounds good,"
Sure.
but I mean, no, I just don't really. That was just like the one thing that got beat into me that I kind of stuck with. You know,
That's like me and heroin.
Oh, nice.
Oh, I
Cool.
did heroin for
You loved
years.
that stuff.
Did you
yeah.
really?
Yeah, I did heroin from 14 to late 30s.
Holy
But
shit.
on and off. I've been clean. I've been in and out of rehab.
Yep.
I'm on methadone, which is why
Good
I
for
can't lose the weight. Good for you, but I
That's
starve
incredible.
myself. I fast. Can't lose the weight. It's the methadone. But I'm like, you know what? I'd rather be alive and clean than like dead.
100%.
I don't think I would try it now.
Heroin?
Yeah, I don't think I would do it.
See, that's more tempting to me than a cigarette, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's amazing because that's amazing. I know 2 other people that like have been in recovery from heroin and
come back from it. Yeah,
because that's like I'm sober, but like the idea of I don't know where heroin got. My mom was just always like, if you do heroin, the second the needle hits your arm, you're already dead. I remember she said that.
You could be
right.
That isn't a lie. She's not lying.
It's kind of like. But man, because then when you cross that line, we're like, I'm gonna do it, which I could see that. Like it was almost luck in some ways. I never did it because there had been times where I was just like, I don't give a fuck, but it wasn't around me.
Right.
Yeah.
So I could get how you could get there, but
yeah, it was around. That was the problem. It was in the 90s, and I was just coming out, and I hated myself. In the 90s, it was different. It ain't like, it's not like everyone's fucking gay now.
Right.
And it wasn't like that. So I just, I wanted to do theater. I wanted to get into plays and like do all, like play sports and do all that. And then for some reason I hit high school. And then I was like, oh, I'm gay.
Shoot up.
Yeah.
Spoon, I'm gay as hell. Yeah.
I'm not going to feel this or think about this at all, you know? But I met a lot of girls in rehab.
And did you went right to injecting? You didn't smoke it?
The first time I did it, I sniffed it.
Yeah.
And then the second time I did it, I was with this really hot girl that I met in rehab. And she was so hot. And I just kept wanting to go to rehab to meet hot girls. That's crazy,
that
right?
Makes sense,
like, also when you're in rehab, I don't know if you felt this way, but like I remember being in rehab and I felt like taken care of in a different way for the first time.
Oh, it's way different.
It was so this one I went to, well, one of them, actually no, 2, there's some of them are not, like the state-run inpatient ones are tough, and then I went to another one that was like not a private one, not a state one.
Insurance covered.
It was on a farm and it was nice.
Yes.
Not nice, like not like a super fancy one, but I remember just being like, it felt like it was like very like stable and comfortable.
Yeah, it was serene.
It was serene.
That's how I felt. I felt serene. I felt content. I felt at peace. And I felt like I could just breathe and be around people who were just as crazy as me.
And then someman brought heroin into the rehab.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that happened to me too.
Popularity move for sure.
Yeah, that's right. Man, that's like, I remember the first person who I ever met who did heroin, I met in a rehab. And I remember she was also the first like stripper I ever met.
Hell yeah.
And so I met her, I was like, you're a stripper, that's so cool. And she was like, is it cool? And I was like, yeah, that's
I think it's cool.
I think it's cool. And she was like, is it cool? She's like, I'm so fucked up when I'm on the pole. She's like, I have to shoot up to get on it. And then I'm drooling the whole time because I hate my life. And I was like...
You're like, I'm drooling too.
Yeah, I was like, maybe it wasn't... She wasn't that... But
it wasn't that good.
But she was cool.
Yeah.
She had a good personality.
Yeah, right.
Good character actor, maybe.
Exactly.
And she was a stripper in Hartford, Connecticut. And she said...
God.
Hartford's rough.
No, you wouldn't think that.
Isn't that where we just went? Oh, we went to Portland.
We went to Portland.
Connecticut. Yeah.
Oh, never heard of it.
Yeah, me either. We were just there, though. But yeah, I thought we were.
I didn't know that. Like New Haven, and then I went to Hartford to meet a girl at the college there, and I was like, oh, Connecticut.
Isn't Yale in Hartford?
Yeah, that's what I mean. So you think like it's gonna be all like waspy and like snobby, but then when I went there, I was like, yo, I feel like I'm in Kensington and Philly right now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like
back
I'm
in the trailer park.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
the hood. Yeah, it was crazy.
You're from Maine?
I'm from Maine.
Yeah.
Okay,
cool.
Nice. And it really was just luck that there was no heroin around the house parties that I would go to. I remember there was a minute where OxyContin crept in.
Okay.
Yep.
I do remember that. And I remember there was this guy used to have parties at this A-frame. You know, you look back in high school and you're like, the people
beautiful houses, those A-frames.
He had built it.
Oh,
you remember
cool. Like the Notebook.
Back,
that's awesome.
I still haven't seen that movie. But
all right, never mind.
But he built it, and it was like, because you look back on people that used to party with in high school a little bit, and he was like way older than all of us. But at the time, we thought it was cool.
Which is creepy if you think
so
back.
Creepy.
Because I've had friends like that too. I'm like, we were partying in this guy's basement and he was 40 and we're 17,
right,
16,
what are you doing?
15. Yeah, exactly. He's buying us beer.
Exactly.
Shit,
I had
that
a teacher that hung out with us when we were seniors and he was like 40. And I thought he was cool.
Would you hook up with the girls?
After they graduated.
Oh, well.
And I didn't really think it was like that big of a deal till I went over to his house and then I saw his medicine cabinet and I was like, oh shit, you know, there's a lot of stuff in here. This guy's got a problem. But,
and why else would you want to hang out with Kit? Like...
Yeah,
what are you doing?
Not for their minds.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, something's wrong. Yeah.
Exactly.
Something is wrong.
And he used to have OxyContin, and I remember like we would smoke weed in his sauna. It didn't work. We were just like sitting there and smoke. And then I remember leaving and snorting something once. I didn't know what it was, and that was OxyContin. But I was too fucked up at the time, so I didn't really feel it.
You didn't feel the effects of it. Yeah, it just feels like a blanket of euphoria. It feels like a warmth, you know. But that only feels like that for 3 days, and then you're hooked.
Oh, 3 days?
Yeah, and then you're hooked. I mean, you feel it a little bit less and less and less and less and less every time. Everyone's like, do you get high off of methadone? I'm like, no, I've been on methadone for 26, 27 years.
Damn.
Jesus Christ.
A long time.
And then
I
what
got on
happened
when I was 18. So.
Well, and when you drink it, does it make you crave doing heroin?
No, it did. It did a long time ago, but not anymore. I was in the Home Depot parking lot shooting heroin on Northern Boulevard in Queens.
Hell yeah.
Damn.
Years ago. And fentanyl had just come in. This is when fentanyl was first on the rise.
Right.
And I OD'd in my car. And it felt like, you know how when you get an x-ray and they put that big old x-ray like thing over you? Yeah, that's what it felt like. But I could still open my eyes and I was coherent and I was conscious of what was going on, but I couldn't move. And that freaked me out. And then that's the last time I did it. I never have done it again.
How'd you get out of the OD?
A Mexican who was, this is a true story, a Mexican who was like working in the parking lot trying to find work saw me like slouched over and he called the cops.
Thank God.
And then the cops came and they have Narcan now where you can just shoot it up your nose like a nasal shot and I just woke up.
Wow. So it's good that Trump didn't build that wall.
Amen.
Yeah.
Give it up for the fucking Mexicans.
Although we would have less heroin addicts. That would have been good. But
Yeah, that's true.
But I'm glad you saw the other side.
Are a lot of Mexicans hooked on heroin?
No. I mean, they were in the parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
That guy would never been there,
Yeah.
But they probably are. They love everything, you know?
I didn't. I was.
They love life. Why not?
But, yeah.
Thank God you didn't like keep doing it too.
No, something. And then I cheated on my wife and got with all these different girls after that to like fill up the void. And then I got into comedy.
Were you with your wife when you were sober?
Yeah.
I mean, you were with your wife when you did heroin?
Yeah. She didn't know it though. I kept it a secret.
So you guys have been together a long time.
10 years. We just celebrated 10 years.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Not like faithful the whole time.
Sure.
But, it happens.
She's been around that long.
There's
She's been in the vicinity.
Have you seen Mike Cannon do comedy before?
Yeah, I know who he is.
He has a joke where he talks about how he's been with his wife like since they were in high school, and he's like, but not. I'm botching him. He's like, not in a row. So he's like, I've got STDs and shit. But
Not STI.
I always think of that when someone's like, I've been with him, but not, not straight through.
That's pretty crazy that you can like go through all that with someone and then like still like not be so affected that you want to ditch it. You know?
Yeah,
that's wild.
that
Like
is
your
true.
wife must love you or something.
She does. She does love me. I'm grateful for her.
She sees the bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
She's a teacher. She's a published author, so she gets it. Like she's not these other hood rat girls that I used to have sex with. They were like Temu, Katy Perry looking kind of girls. So
And they
didn't get it,
right? And to like be like, I see the person besides the person who's like struggling with heroin is thank God.
Yeah, the underneath of it all. But
Short-term investment versus long-term investment.
Right.
Exactly.
I relapsed when I was with my girlfriend, probably like the first like 5 or 6 months that we were together on drinking and. I took a bunch of THC gummies.
Ooh, that can get you zooted though.
It did, and
that can get you zooted.
I don't even love I just liked getting fucked up. I never loved getting high on I like more uppers, even though alcohol's a downer. But
right,
actually no, it was just THC gummies. It wasn't. I got up. I was in over my head. I'd lost my tooth. I got audited. I was like, I can't deal with all this shit. It wasn't doing the things I needed to do. I went to the store. I bought this pack of THC gummies. I ate them all.
Oh, that's the problem.
By the time I got home, I was so fucked up, and she was like, we talked for a little bit. Then I remember just seeing her face going like, and then she was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, "I may have made a mistake." And then I
messed up.
I might have messed up. And then I started lying. I started going,
yep,
she was like, what'd you take? And I go, you don't know me. I had 20 beers.
Yeah, I do the same thing, bro. You don't know me.
It's like the most basic shit. And then she was like, when did you drink any beers? Like, how come you don't smell like it? And I was like, you don't know me. I went to the park after we talked on the phone.
I took a lot of Altoids. You don't know me.
Lying.
Yeah.
That's not even a lie that paints you in a positive light.
No, but
I didn't remember.
We have to manipulate it some way.
I didn't remember it.
Some way. Yeah.
And then she called the ambulance.
Yep.
And the ambulance comes, and at that point, I had taken my shirt off, so I'm sitting on the couch with that shirt on. And the ambulance comes, and they're like, what's going on? And my girlfriend was like, she's in here. And then when they came in, they didn't know my pronouns. So they're like, are they able to walk? And I was like, whoa. And I was so
Were your tits out at that time?
I was totally shirtless, just sitting there.
Titties out. What are your pronouns?
Fucked up. And I remember going down the stairs, and they were trying to help me downstairs, and I kept going, the algorithm of life is too much, man. Too much.
The algorithm.
I kept
That's
saying
so real,
that.
though. That's super real.
Yeah, I kept.
That's a breakthrough. That's a good thought to have. Yeah.
I didn't remember any of that until my girlfriend took pictures of it because she was like, I want you to remember this.
Yeah.
Smart.
And then she said I kept trying to like look at her boobs when I was in the hospital bed. Like,
hell yeah,
she would come in and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And she was like,
"How you doing, baby?"
Yeah, she was like, "You're on thin ice." But she stayed with me. Thank God.
She liked it a little bit, probably.
Maybe I don't know. She definitely hasn't said that she did, but. And I said I love you that night for the first time.
Oh, that's
Isn't that
cute.
crazy? Like, suck the romance. It could have been such a it should have been a romantic, but I think that the inhibitions were down. I was
your vulnerability was
your true self came out.
I was truly fucked up.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if I was gonna get that fucked up from drinking, I would have passed out. Like, I haven't taken I hadn't smoked or taken THC in years at that point.
Oh yeah, and a whole thing of it.
A whole pack.
Yeah, that's
crazy,
no bueno.
I didn't know that, but it's like four gummies or whatever.
Yeah, that can fuck you up.
I had no.
Have a whole panic attack, anxiety.
Yeah.
I mean, I smoke every day, and if I just do like double the amount of whatever I would do, it's just
you
make me anxious. You know, like I don't even know if it'll get me as fuck. I don't do gummies really, so that's anymore. So
and you're not like an addicted person, so you can just stop it.
Oh, that's what's crazy. I have never really had substance issues, like to the point where it's been a problem.
We couldn't be really like best friends,
right?
Because you can't have the blind leading the blind.
I've totally blacked out once in my life on alcohol.
Wow.
And it was because I was like on Adderall, and I didn't know I was going to drink too much on Adderall. That was like literally it. So I don't really like. I have that thing that makes me want to stop. I'll be like, oh, my body's going to feel this tomorrow.
That's what I love about him too.
It's like I'm like I've said this before, but it's like I'm killing myself with a marathon, not a sprint. So I sometimes think it's better, you know, to get it all out of the way already, you know, and then you guys learn your lesson. I'm gonna be 70 feeling like shit, and I'm gonna be like, all right, I'll do another beer, you know.
Totally.
But you know, that's the Midwest in me, so it is what it is.
And it's not having the thing where you're like, just get me out of here, because that's I wouldn't want to get kind of. I don't like moderation. Like I don't like a little. I want to have the option to go all the way in the fucked upness.
Right.
You know, like it's almost more of a tease to like get a little. Like I'd rather be not fucked up at all than like a little bit fucked up.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, I like being a little bit. I like just a little. That's
great.
Buzz, and
I'm happy for you that you can do
that.
I'm
so sorry. Yeah.
No, I'm happy for you. And you know what I say when people say that? Yeah. I'm like, I don't understand it. So I'm like, man, if I could do that, I would get fucked up all the time. Yeah. And people are like, yeah, that's why you can't.
Well, you'd probably have less going on in your life. You know, you'd probably have less beautiful things, because I think it's all just, even if it's moderation, it's just you know, it's taking away 10% of my potential, or 5% of my potential.
True.
You know, but you gotta sacrifice little things along the way. So I think about it like that. I don't think drinking's good. I just, you know.
But if it makes you happy, like my mom,
he's a happy drunk.
You know what I mean?
I don't get nasty.
I've never seen him be like a mean drunk.
And if it makes you like my mom has rheumatoid arthritis. She just got diagnosed with it, and she was like, I can't have wine anymore. And she kept talking about that, and I was like, if the wine makes you so happy because it's like social and it makes you feel good, like
makes your body relax.
There might be some balance there,
right.
Like
for sure.
Because she gets so stressed that she can't have the wine, and she's like, I'm like, that might spike your cortisol more than just drinking the wine is bad. So I don't know.
Yeah, she probably needs to.
Yeah, wine's probably the safest way to go.
Right, moderate it. That's why I'm drinking red wine now. It's like a little, you know, it's just like a little buzz.
And that's nice. You can do that and then not be like, I gotta go do heroin right now.
No, I've learned to. I've been doing this since I've been an addict since I've been 14. So I've learned how to it's like it was like a game. Like I've learned how to figure it out.
They always say being the pharmacist.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because I always used to want to do that because I was like, I got to get a little bit up and then get a little bit down.
There you go.
Then get a little.
Balance is everything. Yeah.
I'm also new to comedy, and I'm like, this creative process for me is like not hard. I've always wanted to do it, and I never like jumped and like did it. I just don't feel like I could be sober and like do it yet. But I feel like one day I could. You know what I mean? Like one day.
It took you a while to start doing sets without having a couple drinks before. Yeah.
Just like the last 6 months I've been able to do it. And I've only done 2 sets.
Really?
Yeah. So.
I relate to that 100%. I always was drinking the whole beginning of me doing comedy. Always drinking. I was like, there was no way. And I used to think it helped me be more creative, and like I wouldn't have done it if I hadn't. I don't know. It's tough to say, but
no, you might not. Like
had the
for
bravery
me,
to jump,
exactly.
Right.
Jump off that ledge.
That makes sense.
It does make it hard though when you stop though, because it's like you're so used to doing it that way, so it is hard not doing it that You have to like relearn it.
I gotta learn. I'm gonna learn it. I have to learn it
because it's surfing,
eventually.
and then you're gonna have that like specific feeling of like this is how I get in the pocket, and
right?
Is,
exactly.
So
and this way, and then you don't ever give yourself credit too, because you'll be like, oh, it went good. Like, oh, that was part of that was because I had to have this. I'll still do that sometimes with like certain things. I'm like, like I had a show that was so bad a couple nights ago. I walked out. I threw off the shirt that I had on. Like I had a sweater on.
You threw it in the garbage.
I said, I'm never wearing this piece of shit again.
Bad luck shirt.
I hate that. Don't you hate when you get a new shirt and you're like, I can't wait to wear this.
Totally.
On stage,
and then you're like,
this don't feel right.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
And then if I have like a lucky thing, so I'll still, but it's like you associate certain things with the experience. So then with drinking, like you like associate comedy with it. So then, at least for me, it was hard to like separate the two.
Yeah.
And it gets hard to keep that balance sometimes. So sometimes you'll be like, okay, I go just right. I'll have a couple beers, then some Adderall or whatever. I got the perfect. But then the problem is, then at some point, it's like you might not get the cocktail right.
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, he see me do that. I just flip the fuck out on stage sometimes. Or I leave. Or I have an 8 minute set and I do 4 minutes and I just walk off.
You just get mad?
No, once, but usually I'm just like, all right, I'm done, and I just leave. Like I just freak out.
Right.
When really it's like, yo, what is going on?
It's chill though.
It's in my head, you know.
Totally.
I'm still new. I'm learning.
And it's uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable.
It's a very uncomfortable thing too. Yeah. And then you're like, what the fuck? But it'll pass.
It will pass.
But
that
it's
true.
Like there's no matter how much you want to do it, that's things that are uncomfortable you don't want to be there for.
Right, but then when I kill and I crush 4 times in a row, I'm like, what was that cocktail?
Right.
I had one Corona, I had one little bit of Adderall.
I promise it had nothing to do with it.
I know,
the cocktail's inside of you.
Right. Exactly. Oh shit, the cocktail's inside of me.
Do you listen to your recordings?
Yeah, I mean
that's the because I
don't tape everything, but I've taped the last few times and they'll tape for me too, and I watch them back and I'm like, and I do learn from them a lot.
And can you do that sober?
Watch them.
Yeah.
Sober? Yeah. I'm at work watching them.
That's
sober.
good because I used to not be able to. I'd always want to get fucked up to watch and listen back. So if you can do that, I feel like that's just almost just as uncomfortable as performing sometimes.
It is.
Oh, it's worse for me.
It's brutal.
Oh my God,
Is it worse?
The first minute you watch yourself,
cringes.
I hate the first minute. Then like 2 minutes, I'm like, God damn, I'm funny. But for 1 minute, I'm like, this guy's a fucking loser.
Right. Like I didn't think they laughed at that, and I'm like, oh, they did laugh.
Right.
I got like three claps or something.
Well, it's good to be delusional in that way as opposed to the other way because there's a lot of the other way, you know?
Isn't that the truth? And then
they think they're really fucking funny. And
it feels like a chip is missing or something. Where they're like, that audience was weird, and you're like...
Yeah. We gotta mic the audience next time.
Right.
Like, no, it was dead silent in there.
We're brutal. Just own it.
Yeah. It's so true. It's so true.
I had this ex that was a therapist, and she said once, she was like, comedians, if it goes well, they say the audience was good. And if it goes bad, they go, I suck. And she's like, so you guys make it so you never take the credit for how, you never let it be, you did a good job or whatever. Okay. And I always remember that. I was like, that's true. And I was like, but you got to understand.
It's a good way to think about it.
It's a good way to think about it. I was like, but there are people too that completely are not reliable narrators about it at all.
No.
Which is tough to do, but a lot of time, usually it skews one way. It's like you think it went worse than it did. That's probably most people. And then there's some people that think it went better than it did.
Right.
You seem very like focused on like self-improvement and stuff, obviously, which
Definitely,
is great.
I'm not a reliable narrator because I usually think everything's like in the shitter.
Sure. But that's like a comedian's perspective, right?
Right.
So like if your therapist tells you to do something like that, are you like, oh, but I can't? Or you like try to look at yourself as like being awesome? Or do you look at yourself as like needing to get better all the time?
That was my ex-therapist. My therapist, who's actually my therapist. That was the ex-girlfriend who's a therapist.
Gotcha.
But my therapist now said, she said when we first started working together, she was like, you spend so much time trying to win people over, you have to spend some time trying to win yourself over. And I was like,
that's real.
I thought that was a good, and I was like, I hate myself. This is a while ago, but definitely since then I've been trying to win myself over for sure.
You're so talented though, and you've been at this a long time, man. I've been stalking you for years, bro. Not in a sexual way, you know that. I don't fuck with butches, but in like a comedy way.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So
I think the first time I saw you perform, you had the no tooth thing going on.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
It's the first time you saw her? Wow.
And that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah,
that was
like 2
years
ago, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
That was like when I first moved to New York. Yeah.
But she owned that shit like a boss, bro.
I got used to it.
You own that
there
shit
was
like
a minute
boss.
where I was like,
yes.
I was gonna get the dental surgery, and then I was like, but maybe I won't, like, because I got used to it.
You could have been that comic.
Yeah, because I got used to it. Every time I get uncomfortable on stage, I go like that, and then there was the missing tooth, and people would be like, ah.
You'd start doing whistling out of it in the middle.
I would.
I was gleeking and shit.
I'd pull out all the stops.
Sure.
I was using it as like a crutch. Then I thought I'm not going to get it
was
fixed.
a prop. It was like
Thank
a prop.
God I got it fixed.
It looks good.
Thank you.
It looks good.
It feels different. Like, I can't believe because it was like a year and a half, a year where I was missing the tooth.
Oh, really? It was that long? Okay.
They give you a temporary tooth. I just kept losing it. So no dentist actually makes you leave the office with no tooth normally.
An expensive
How do you
loss.
lose it though? It falls out? Or
That's
you just
an
leave
expensive loss, bro.
It is expensive. It's a couple hundred. It's like $600 each time.
Yeah.
So I kept losing it because I would have it for a while.
How would you lose it? Like he said, how would you?
I would have it for a little bit, and then I get cocky, and I'd like put it in my pocket. I'd take it out, eat. Right. One time I fell asleep, but I lost it 2 times. My fault. One time the third time wasn't my fault. Though. I was going to Colorado, fell asleep on the flight. I woke up. I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me! I took the tooth out in my sleep. Must have put it somewhere. I feel imagine the person sitting next to me because I fell asleep.
Found a tooth.
We talked and then I fell asleep. I woke up no tooth, and maybe they didn't take it. I don't know. But I woke up like
it's on eBay the next day. Yeah.
And then I got to Colorado.
Emma Willmann's tooth on eBay
and had no tooth. And then I was like, that's it. I keep losing these things, so I just made myself have no tooth for a while.
Oh, as a lesson, yeah.
Yeah,
you got to go phone, wallet, keys, tooth.
Right.
Yeah. Tooth it up.
That's why and also the fake tooth looked a little funny.
Okay.
So I was like, I'll just have no tooth. But
just own it.
Just own it. Yeah.
Rock it, yeah.
Imperfections are good in comedy.
True. Yeah, it gives you something. It was kind of nice because I could reference.
Yeah.
I could reference that. I felt like the tooth was so distracting. I could talk about that instead of how gay looking I look up top.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
It didn't make you the lesbian comic. It made you the comic without the tooth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it felt. I felt like the no tooth.
That's kind of liberating.
It did feel kind of liberating. I felt like the no tooth was more distracting. So it's like I had to get to that first.
Yeah.
So that was kind of nice for a minute.
I can't even imagine. That must be nice. Yeah.
It was nice for. I mean, it sucked a little bit.
Detour that off the lesbian thing.
Right. At least up top in terms of like trying to diffuse like addressing how you look. But it sucks that it had to be missing a tooth wasn't necessarily worth, you know, like, I don't know what we'd have to do to subsidize how gay we both look.
Right.
You know what I mean? To make them be like, whoa, what's this other thing?
Next week, Sheri's got a peg leg or something like
that. Right,
exactly.
Fucking limping.
That would work. A peg leg. That could work.
Pirate and pussy. Yeah, exactly.
That could work.
You came out young? How long?
I came out when I was in, it was like the 3rd or 4th day of college. I remember.
Oh, you were ready.
Yeah, I was ready because I'm from like backwoods in Maine. And I went to an all-women's college, and I remember.
Oh shit!
I remember when I visited the school. My mom was like, she was like, "Oh, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of lesbians here." And I was like, they probably keep them like in the basement when people tour the school. And she was like, I don't think they can do that. And I was like, no, they can't do that, Mom. And so I just thought that there were.
They're all in the shed.
Yeah, I was like, they hide them for Visitors Day. And she was like, really? And I was like, I don't know. But there were a lot of lesbians at that college. But I remember like the second day I got to campus, there was this girl, Angela. She was like, you're gay. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And then I came out like a week later or something. And I was like, I'm bi.
That's what I did.
Sure.
That's what I did. I was bi for years. All throughout high school, I was bisexual.
I get also because high school is tough.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
I shouldn't have
tough.
been gay so young. I regret it. Honestly.
You do?
Yeah, I regret it.
It's easy. It's coulda, woulda, shoulda though. Like looking back at that stuff, because. But I mean, doing that and trying to navigate stuff because. I mean, I would drink and smoke a lot in high school. Thank God heroin wasn't around. Because I feel like the physical withdrawals of heroin.
It's horrible.
I can't imagine.
When I tell you it's
Have you ever done heroin?
No.
No, he's not.
Dated a lot of girls that did heroin.
Really?
Yeah, heroin had a
time.
girlfriend before.
Yeah. They have a lust for life.
He has a joke
suppose,
about
but,
it.
Yeah.
They got away.
They've got a lust for life.
Sure.
You know? They're wild, yeah.
I bet.
We are wild.
But yeah, no, again, I just like really haven't done like the hard, like bad stuff,
Sure.
I guess. You know, like I love psychedelics, mushrooms.
I never did psychedelics
acid.
either.
That's kind of my
I like
thing. If I'm going to do
microdosing.
something. Not even really anymore. I'm too old.
Right.
But when I was in my 20s and shit. But,
I like the idea of an upper. Like I like the idea of cocaine more.
I
I
like
like
the idea of
cocaine.
getting
I
shit
do
done.
cocaine
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
I do because my Adderall prescription's all messed up right now.
And it is
Sometimes I do a
similar.
little zooted. It's not the same,
Right.
But it's
I mean, I say that.
Adderall's a cleaner up.
Sure.
It's a cleaner up. It's way cleaner and but
Can you focus when you do coke?
yeah, it's the same as Adderall.
Huh.
It's just less time. Period.
Right.
It's like you got to keep doing it.
And it hurts more coming down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm way more tired.
Right.
I'm way more tired.
You get depressed?
Yeah. Yeah. I get depressed. Sometimes I call Brad crying. But mostly it's about, honestly, I'm not even going to lie, it's about like Gen Z.
You call crying about Gen Z?
Yeah.
He's like, what about the coke you're withdrawing from? Like,
no,
it's not that. They don't like my joke when I call them all the F word.
Yeah. They're like, oh, yeah. I feel like I missed the boat, you know?
Unconnected with Gen Z?
Exactly.
But you know what? There's a million billion people that aren't Gen Z. You know what I mean?
And I love them too.
That's what makes you a unique character. Though,
exactly.
you know? If you were just a gay Gen Z, then you'd just be like another Gen Z, you know?
Right.
You're unique. You got your own thing going on.
Where do you see all the Gen Zs at?
I feel like I hate them so much.
Where is it?
OnlyFans, wherever she's at.
Yeah.
All these little comedy thoughts, you know.
Woo! Talk about gay Gen
babies,
Z.
yeah.
Little gay Gen Zs, though. They're different breed.
The Woods.
I like the Woods. I like the Woods.
I've never been there.
My friend runs it, and so when she first started, there was 10 people that came.
Wow!
And now it's packed every week.
I've heard of it.
You, but it's shoulder to shoulder, and it might not be fun.
It's like, a lot.
We can barely move.
Right.
We can barely move, and then you have to figure it out and weave your way through. And
right.
But it's fun. Shout out Amber Valentine. I love you, baby girl.
I've heard of that name too.
I love it. I've known her for a long time. She's a really good friend of mine. But baby girl, you got it too crowded in there.
Do you recharge from being around people or being like? Are you an introvert or extrovert?
I'm an extrovert.
Okay, see, I'm an introvert. I recharge from being like. Are you introvert or extrovert?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Introvert.
Yeah.
I recharge from being like I'm outgoing for sure.
Yeah.
But for every like social thing that I do, like if I went to a place like that where it's packed side to side. My social battery, since I'm sober, if I was drinking, it wouldn't matter, cause
right.
But usually I would end up getting kind of fucked up and have to leave early anyway.
Yeah. I think
it's
for
exhausting.
me, it's
right.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, I'm so old that I've done this so many times. I'm over it. Like I'm the old guy in the club. I'm 42 years old. I'm the old guy at the Woods now. You guys they're literally old enough to be my like daughter.
Right.
You know, or they thems. You know, whatever.
Totally.
So. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I've never been to it, but have you been to it?
Yes. Yeah.
Nice. Good for you.
I am such an ally, Emma. I have such a good time.
my ally right
dude,
there.
I don't.
Yeah.
But
I had this friend who I remember taking him to a lesbian night in Boston. This is back when I'm sure they're not called lesbian nights anymore. This buddy of mine,
lesbo
queer,
night.
whatever it was.
They are. That's a good question.
It was on Valentine's Day, and I remember I think I was working at it or whatever reason I had to go, and he was visiting me, and so he came. We hung out all night, and he was like talking to the lesbians, and afterwards he was like, you know, that was fun. He was like, what kind of lesbian do you think I would be if I were a lesbian? And I was like, I don't know, Phil, like maybe like a chubby Italian one. Because
that's what you are?
Yeah, and he was like, yeah. And he was like, man, he's like, but it's crazy. He's like, I'd be talking to a girl for a while, and he's like, she's really not interested in me. I'd be like, it's really 100% true.
Exactly, right. No much charm you have, baby, they're not interested in you.
Yeah, and he was
true.
He is, I haven't seen talking to him in years, but he's like a cute guy. And he was just like, he's very friendly, and he's a chubby little Italian guy, super cute. And he was like, yeah, I thought there'd be like a bisexual or something. I was like, they weren't there for what you were putting out, you know?
No, not at all. They're not picking that up,
right?
At all. But yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, I'm learning, and I'm trying to like progress. Like I'm in progress right now.
I say that all the time.
You know?
Yeah, I go, I'm like still trying.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if that ever stops. So I remember talking to someone once. I was like, I used to always say this. I used to be like, I gotta get together. And she would be like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I gotta be more together. But I do feel like little micro. Yeah. Like, you know something I just started doing? I'm talking 4 days ago.
Oh, fresh. Not a habit yet, but you're doing it.
Fresh.
Yeah, you're talking fresh.
And I'm surprised by people's reaction to this, because like even people that, like I talked to this friend of mine today, and he doesn't drink or anything. And when I told him this, he was like, what? You didn't used to do that? That's insane. Like that, this was the line. So I've had like stomach stuff, right? Yeah. So I went to go see this fucking doctor. And she was like, you gotta start chewing. And I was like, I don't chew.
You scarf.
I scarf.
Do you fast? Are you
no, if I get hungry, then I hate being hungry.
Okay.
Hate it.
Okay.
But because people would recommend that for gut stuff. Fast, it helps your gut repair. But
so you're not fasting, but you still scarf.
Always.
Wow. Yeah, girl, you gotta chew your food, boo boo.
I hate it.
Come on.
And so the past couple days is like the first time in my life. Like I used to just like chunks.
No, savor it, chew it.
I've been doing it the past.
Do you like food?
Yeah, but I like it, and it's more comforting. Like I feel like I taste it, get it down. Then I want taste it, get it down.
You just want more.
Were you a younger sibling?
Middle.
Oh, okay. I did because I'm an older sibling. I take my time with my food. All my younger siblings, and they say because it's like they had to eat it before someone else ate it.
I had
your food.
Yeah.
No
like
threats of stolen food. I did eat alone a lot as a kid because like my dad, when my parents got divorced, like my dad and stepmom would eat together, and then she'd like leave me out a plate, and then but I would eat. I was use food as like I was definitely an emotional eater, but over the year, even now where it's like. Did this past 2 years doing all this like protein time and out stuff really on it.
Yeah, you look good.
You're fucking ripped.
I appreciate it.
Yo, first off, Emma got a fucking like 8-pack.
I appreciate it, but
8-pack.
Even doing that type of stuff, even when I would eat, I never like sit down and eat. I always just like eat like on the go. But now I gotta fucking chill because I fuck my stomach up.
Just slow down a little bit.
Yeah, you're a fast-paced person, huh?
Yeah, I'm a fast-paced person.
Yeah, go.
But I was doing it today. Like my mouth hurt.
You got that lockjaw?
Yeah, I was like just chewing because you're supposed to apparently make it into like a mush so then it's easier to digest.
Yeah, Emma, that's regular.
I didn't know about this.
That's why they do it for the babies like that.
Yeah, I'm 38. I didn't know.
Yeah, you're gonna be okay.
The people that have judged it too, my friend that like was like, "Well, you didn't chew." I was like, "Are you serious?" Like I've told them so much weird shit.
That's a bit. That's funny actually.
I didn't know everyone was out here. So
chewing. I know everyone's out there chewing their food.
I know that people chew, but I know people were sitting there like making it into mush.
Do you eat meat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you'd like have a steak and just chunk down.
Absolutely.
Just cut it.
That's frightening.
If I was alone, I wouldn't.
That is it.
But
scary.
Yeah, people really freak out about this.
Yeah, that's like some horror movie shit.
Because
you gotta calm down.
And I wouldn't even, if I was alone, I wouldn't use utensils. I hate utensils too.
Oh, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Dude, just bring the pasta over here. Let's
exactly.
go. You know, like we got this.
Right.
100%. Like I like using my. Like, have you ever eaten Ethiopian food?
I love Ethiopian food.
I love Ethiopian food.
Ganat over in Park Slope is very good. The one in
I wonder if I've been there. I've been to one place in Park Slope. It was awesome.
It's right on the corner. It's the one on the corner. It's small.
Man, it's been years.
But yeah, they give you the bread. The big bread, and then they put the food or whatever you want on top, and then they give you extra bread, and you just. It's so good.
And I like that.
It's so, you don't have to chew for that.
You don't have to chew for that.
Because all the portions are it's like baby food.
Right.
Most of it.
They mush it up.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, I can't, me having to chew for the rest of my life, this sucks. But I at least have to do it till my stomach gets a little evened out.
Get your stomach
So you didn't even, when your tooth went out, it didn't even matter. You were like, I don't even use this thing.
I never chewed before. I mean, I would literally, like, if it was up to me and I was eating something, I go like, and then I do chomp chomp down.
I'm trying to think of like a really chewy food. Like if you had a beef jerky or something like that.
Ooh. Bite it off into a small enough piece to go down, hit it once with the back tooth, down the gullet.
Would you like suck it first to get some flavor out of it? No flavor.
But I would bite, I'd feel it in my tongue as long as it takes for my tongue to push it to the back tooth, chomp down.
Method.
Jesus Christ.
It didn't even, it's just like what I've always done. Down. But it's like, that stuff, it fucks you up.
I love chewing. I got this oral thing. I like chew on anything, not food.
I'll chew on anything too.
You'll chew on your shirt.
Yeah, that's probably why she likes smoking cigarettes too. It's oral fixation.
Chewing, totally. You know.
So you love chewing, but not food.
I like chewing. I guess I like chewing the food, but only once. Boom. Then another boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Or like with gum, I put all the gum in my mouth.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
okay, you're a one-liner eater. Yeah.
But this is going to be
a
radical change for me.
But your stomach is going to feel 10 times better.
Right, and it's gotten to the point I can't live with the way it's been.
You've done so good with everything else. You could do this.
I appreciate that.
Like, you're disciplined. You have a fucking 8-pack. You can chew your food, bro. Trust me.
The picture that you're referring to, that one, I trained, my friend's a bodybuilder, and we trained for it like we were doing that. I just want to see if I could do it.
You could do it.
So in that photo, a trick bodybuilders do, is you get super dehydrated. So the day before
it's like cutting weight if you're a fighter. It's like
exactly
right, yeah.
And that does make like a 5% difference. Like you get as jacked as you can, and then right before you do the photos, no salt, no water. You take a diuretic, and then so when I took those photos, the Fight Club like ones, like I did it, and then the second we did finish the photo shoot, pounded Gatorade.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pounded, and I felt hungover the next day because I was so dehydrated.
Yeah, you were so tired. Your body was depleted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I bet you still look good naked. Come on.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
this is the longest I've been able to maintain muscle too. But this chewing thing is gonna fuck me up.
Your jaw's gonna get so strong, like you're gonna
like pussy for hours after that. No lockjaw for you no more.
It used to, because I grind my teeth too.
I do that in my sleep.
You wear a mouth guard?
No, but I should.
Me
I have
too.
A huge overbite, like a huge.
Really?
You can't even see my bottom teeth at this point.
Yeah, my teeth are all like ground down. Probably because the back ones fucking chomp once down, and then I grind my teeth.
And then you just grind it all.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like people with ADD are more likely to grind their teeth too.
Yeah, I've definitely ADD. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
More likely to grind teeth.
Can't
It's like a habit.
Can't sit still. Yeah,
Right.
you got the energy.
Gotta do something.
Right.
And even in my sleep, I'm doing it. So.
You ever get twitchy leg?
Oh, my wife. When I first started dating her, she's like, "What? Why are you doing that?" I'm like, I think it's just like trauma.
Show me.
So at night you'll be in bed and you'll be like, all of a sudden you feel like you have to move your legs like this.
Oh yeah.
Like
or
that.
I rock sometimes. Like I'll rock.
Like one of these. Oh,
I do
that's
that.
Good.
Yeah.
That's like orgasmic. Almost.
Well,
That's so good.
But this,
that's so good.
This is like you feel like it's like it's uncomfortable. You're like you can't fall asleep because you're like my fucking leg.
No, you move a lot, or I'll rock back and forth,
Yep.
or I'll move. Yeah, and that takes hours before I stop that.
And that's that's supposed to be a magnesium deficiency that apparently people with ADHD are more likely to have.
That might be like lesbian blue balls. Where you guys are so ready to scissor. You're like,
No,
gotta get it out.
I'm at my leg's switching. It's time to go. Yeah.
Come here.
Yeah. Like,
I need
wild.
a banana. Crazy.
is this your first close lesbian friend?
No.
Oh.
No.
I thought I was.
Oh, shit.
I mean, yes.
That's a thing. Isn't that a thing? I've thought about
I'm just
that.
kidding.
That is a thing when you're
I have
like
a lot
probably
of
my
straight
closest-
guy friends.
Totally.
I have a lot of-
Definitely my closest lesbian friend now, and maybe the closest lesbian friend I've had ever. But I've had a lot. I've turned a lot of women lesbian. I've been their last
straight.
attempt at straightness a couple
Really?
times. Yeah, I'm an empath and can listen. And,
I was gonna
have
say
soft features and that sort of stuff.
It's
so.
that's a compliment of someone feeling like comfortable being with you.
Oh,
you
Right.
know?
yeah.
Not like
Yeah.
you them some because it doesn't
I
work
didn't
like
take
that.
it. I probably did take it like that one time. But,
Right.
I don't yet. No.
Yeah, when people think that, you're like, that's not how it.
I've had years of not making my girlfriend come, so I know it's not my fault.
100%.
But that's on her.
Totally. Right.
Yeah, she'll figure it out. But
You guys been together a long time.
me and my girl now, we've been together like 3.5 years.
Good for you.
It's all right. Yeah.
I love this girlfriend.
Couples
That's
counseling
good.
today.
She's really
Nice.
good girl.
She's Hispanic. She's got a Hispanic
I got
wife.
it. Yeah,
You
my
have a
girlfriend's
Hispanic
Mexican.
girlfriend.
Yeah. And my-
Mexican, mine too. Nice.
Right.
My girl,
Yeah.
half Puerto Rican. She's a thick girl too. My
Awesome.
girl. Yeah.
Good for her.
Girl. Yeah.
And you guys and married.
We're married.
You guys
yeah.
do couples counseling too?
We did that for like a few years on and off, but nah,
My girlfriend wants to. I mean, I feel like
not for me anymore.
almost all the relationships I've been in, they've been like, we should do couples counseling. So this is a reflection of me for sure. But my girlfriend was like, we should do it while things are good. So then if something pops up, then we'll have it in place. But
Well,
I used to not do therapy, so I just started doing therapy like a year and a half
Okay.
ago.
Really?
So it was like I'd done it before, but I hadn't in years.
Right.
And this is the first time I've seen a therapist who's like her name is Barbara. She's on it.
yeah, I have a good therapist now
She's
too.
on it.
Yeah,
You ever been
yeah.
attracted to your therapist?
I've had sex with 2 of my therapists.
That's
No, I swear.
because I find myself.
And one teacher, 11th
Really?
grade teacher, English teacher. Yeah.
See, thank God Barbara
I have
didn't.
issues.
They
It's okay.
have fucking issues for crossing that line though.
But I
Because
had
you
to
were
learn that. I
impressionable.
had to learn that.
Right.
Figure that out. I mean, I was young. I was a late teenager, and they were early 20s. So really, 5-6 years.
Also, the power dynamic.
That's what I keep learning.
It's not okay
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
with Barbara, there was a moment where I was like, for context too, Barbara's like 74.
Right.
Not that I wouldn't be attracted to something like that, but it was about more than that. Like
It's the counter-transference
she's so
theory.
fucking. And
Yeah.
I've had lots of therapists before that I've never been attracted to one ever.
No,
but
she's helping
Barbara
you.
is awesome, and she's fucking hilarious. She's so funny.
Yeah.
And so there's something about I was like, I think I'm attracted to Barbara, and she was like, no.
That's counter-transference. That's Sigmund Freud right there. Mm-hmm.
But thank God, because if she had been like, okay, I would have been like, okay.
Right.
And so that is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, therapist.
You know what I mean?
I'm just visualizing Emma having sex with a 74-year-old.
I was genuinely attracted, and I do actually find, and like my girlfriend was like, she was like, you have a crush on her, but you don't have a crush on like someone else. No. And I was like, no. I was like, it's not about that.
It's the emotional connection and funny. Both of the therapists I've had sex with, they were very funny, and we laughed a lot.
Did they? Did they end up like apologizing for what they did? Because they should not have done that.
One of them was One of them actually...
And they were your therapists?
Yeah. So when I was an inpatient, so I had one...
That's so fucked up!
So when I was an inpatient...
That's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah.
I had a hot therapist when I was inpatient
she
once.
was fly.
But if she had
pencil
crossed...
skirts, high heels...
That's so fuck... Imagine someone came to you and is like, I'm going through withdrawals, I'm a 1 week sober.
Yeah.
How fucked up is that to... Even if you thought it was your soulmate, you'd say, okay, well, call me in a couple years.
Right. No, that's not how. Yeah.
That's so
but it was
inappropriate.
A long-term inpatient. It was a year program, so I was in there months and months. I was way clean by then.
And I bet they're doing that to other people. Like,
well, that's how she got caught.
Yeah,
she ended up having sex with somebody else, and somebody walked in and saw it. Basically.
I have no I really judge people doing that because it's like, especially when someone's trying to improve themselves and coming to you in an invulnerable spot. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I was a teenager. I didn't know. I was a kid.
Of course you didn't. Like, that's
know.
so...
Yeah, I didn't know.
I have a friend whose sister ended up getting with... and the sister's like 40, but ended up getting with her therapist in rehab.
That's what,
and I was like, this is... There was a teacher at my old college that used to get with... it was the thing where it's like, wait till after students graduated. But I remember I knew 3 different people that had been with this teacher, and they were like... Each one of them was like, oh, she's never done this before. And I was like, I promise you.
100%. Yeah.
I've heard that she has.
There's a pattern. Yeah. There's got to be a pattern for it, for sure. Yeah, no, for sure. I don't know. And then I ended up marrying a teacher. So there's something.
But it wasn't
there.
your teacher while they were your teacher.
She wasn't my teacher. Yeah. She wasn't my teacher.
Huge difference.
But I mean,
the role play still exists.
She taught. One of the girls taught
anything
me
in a safe space.
BDSM.
Right.
I did learn BDSM from the second therapist and
That's
one of my
great.
teachers.
But you could.
So I learned a lot from the BDSM community just from that.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
It's fucked up. It is fucking twisted.
Like, I'm sure, this is the only analogy. I'm sure Hitler taught someone to tie their shoe. You know what I mean? And then they could be like,
I never thought
you know what I mean?
Like that,
that's good. I like
people
that.
are complicated. Like, it's like someone can be abusive and awful, but still
fuck you up.
You know, do something good too.
That's that's all Kanye was trying to say too.
Right?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, true. I didn't even think of that out of context. Yeah, you cut it out of context, but
the title of the episode.
Like, someone can be the worst and then still do something. But that's why, like, a lot of times abuse is confusing.
It is. Because
you're like, man, like, no one else. They listened to me when no one else did, and it's like, but
they beat the shit out of me, but they gave me dinner. You know?
Right. They gave me a ride home and a pack of Newports.
Exactly.
So here we are.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would imagine, like, in an inpatient situation like that, it's got to be like a similar, like,
I look
effect
forward
of, like,
to every Wednesday
or something like that. You know, like where you're a relative takes the advantage.
Right.
Yeah. Also, you're looking forward to it when you should have been like, fuck, I got therapy. You know what I'm saying?
No, like, fuck, we fucking.
Right.
You know, like, we're gonna.
So she was crossing the power dynamic, like, with your vulnerability and where you're at, and robbing you from getting the therapy you needed.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you could have been seeing a therapist that's like, here's how to, breathe or whatever.
Here's how to stop using heroin.
That
too.
Yeah. And then stop heroin, then breathe.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
Like getting in a showman's on Survivor. You're here for the money, not for love. You know, you got to keep your eyes on the prize.
But I look at it like it was the 90s too. It was the late 90s, early 2000s, and gay people weren't like out like that.
I know. I do that game too. Like, I'll do that too. Where
and
I'll
like she was 22, right out of college. I was 15, 16.
I do that too. Where
however many years. I flirted with her too, But,
I do that
still,
too.
She was wrong.
She was wrong.
I'm almost there to where I'm saying that out loud that I really believe it.
Right.
Like, I still don't believe she was wrong.
And I get that totally. Like, I had this acupuncturist whose husband ended up being like a predator, with like little boys. And she had told me years before that she had been abused, and then by her therapist, oddly enough, and then sexually assaulted by her therapist, and then her husband had helped her press charges against that therapist.
Right. Okay.
So when it came out that her husband was all these like kids came forward and were like, he did this to me. I remember I called her right away and I was like, oh my God, are you okay?
Absolutely.
And I went and my dad was like, do not go meet up with her. And I met up with her and we went on a walk. We're walking through the woods. And I was like, you see that he knew that he was a savior to you because he got you to prosecute your therapist. So he knew that you saw him as a protector. So he was using you as leverage to have this like quote unquote normal life. Right. So he had more access to these little boys.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And she was like, no, it's not like that. Like, she was like, making excuses for him and stuff.
Victim brain.
And then I was like, oh, she's not getting it at all. No. And then I remember at one point she said, you got to understand, you know how hard it is with your sexuality. People don't understand. He really loved them. And I went, okay. And then I just stopped in the woods and I walked in a different direction. Like, literally.
Time to go.
Gotta go. And I never talked to her again.
Adios, motherfucker.
But I used to always do that.
That's toxic as fuck.
And it's how I used to, like, understand people. Like, yeah, they do this thing's fucked up. But they did it because they were hurt or whatever.
Yeah, excuses.
She could have been closeted for 20 fucking centuries.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't mean it was okay.
It's still
but
not
it is
okay.
hard to get that shit. Because, like, there's still people where I'll be like, yeah, but... Because, like, if you tell me, like, you could do the most fucked up shit, but then if you have self-awareness about it, I, to a fault, will be like, I get it, man.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I have a lot of self-awareness now.
Right.
You know, which I'm grateful for.
And then if someone else has self-awareness, you can pretty much make me almost understand anything, but only in the past 5 or 6 years have I been like, okay, but that doesn't mean it was okay that you did this.
Definitely doesn't. Definitely
but it's hard to
It is hard.
Relatable and right are two different things too. So,
totally.
Yeah, that's true.
Totally. What would you do if you saw her walking around?
I saw her years later at a restaurant. She was a waitress.
I'd want to kick her right in the teeth.
Yeah.
But it's complicated.
It was awkward. It's
easier for me to say that about someone else.
She brought over another waitress.
Oh, that was good. That was good of her. Yeah. Okay, so maybe she's changed. In which case, then God bless. And then I feel bad. But yeah. And it is tough. It's tough.
It is tough. But that's why, I'm doing comedy now, trying to turn my comedy trauma into comedy.
Yeah.
And, like, learn, but, like, make it funny, not make it, like, cringy.
Sure. Right.
Like, funny stuff.
Totally.
But I'm learning one day at a time.
Yep.
But I do look at you as, like, not like a mentor one-on-one, but, like, I've always looked up to you. I've always admired you. I've always felt like I could relate to you. So
I appreciate that.
I'm very grateful that you've been a guest on our podcast.
Absolutely.
And this conversation has flowed so much where, like, we would love to have you back too.
Anytime. I love podcasting.
And yeah, I'm really appreciative of you being here.
Yeah, thank you for taking the time. Tell the people where to find you.
Yeah.
Emma Willmann on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube.
Oh yeah, those are the big 3 for you?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'd say now I'm on Instagram the most, me as a consumer. Sure. I'm hooked on that. But I post the most on YouTube.
You got LinkedIn?
I don't have LinkedIn.
Okay. I was going to say, I'd endorse some skills for you if you want.
I appreciate you. You do Reddit?
I read Reddit. I don't post on Reddit.
Okay, so same. And I'm on that shit all the time.
Great
now.
Pornography.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
On Reddit?
Oh, you can just find the most specific shit.
Get out of here.
Never did.
Come on.
Because I feel like I'll get pretty specific on porn search.
Twitter porn.
I don't do that either.
It's pretty good. It's like a short clip.
It's like if like your porn search was like a whole subreddit, right?
Wow.
So,
I feel like I haven't reached the end of, because now I always Google. It was always like cuckold wife, hot wife sharing, but now I always do that, and then but I've got like a bunch of stuff I always
We are
Google,
on the same vibration, baby.
but I haven't Googled like the end of that.
Sure.
But my girlfriend gets real. Because I'll still be on. I feel like Pornhub or X Hamster, but the stuff she looks up, it gets Reddit-ish.
Yeah. Yeah, I've started getting more into Reddit for other uses, but I'm trying to get off the porn. Not really about it. I just
I'm never
going to
get off the
libido
porn
anymore. It's just not
I went through a phase
yet.
where I wasn't even watching porn at all. I had no libido, and then it's been back recently.
Good
nice,
for you.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Hell yeah. All right, well, Emma's out here. She's got her
libido
libido
love Emma
going.
Willmann.
Thank you guys. Thank you very much.
Follow and subscribe and like our shit too.
Yeah, see you tomorrow at school.
Hell
Thank you.
Booyah.
Yeah.
You are my bitch.